It was good. My name's Eddie. So Sony just dropped the new A7V, which has been expected for a few years and rumored for a few months. And right now, I'm overly excited. Not because I had this camera before release, not because I'm going to buy it or I have put the pre-order in. It's none of those reasons. As you can tell, I run a small YouTube channel, so I don't get to see cameras before they release, no embargoes, none of that stuff. The reason I'm excited is I just bought a Sony A7CII Mark II a few weeks ago, and Sony just dropped the A7V, and for the first time in many years, it kind of feels like my gas symptoms are reducing. Now, if you don't know what gas means, it is gear acquisition syndrome that most of us camera heads go through. We just want to buy the new thing and see what the latest is and think that we need it. You see, when people talk about the A7C Mark II, they often say it's the A7 IV in a smaller body. And I almost disagree with that, because I think the A7C II is the A6700 with a full frame sensor. A6700 is Sony's best crop sensor camera right now, fully capable, but obviously crop sensor and full frame, it's a little different when it comes to amount of light that you let in. The A7C Mark II has the new AI autofocus chip that the A7 IV didn't have. It's got an improved stabilization option, the dynamic active, that the A7 IV didn't have. And when you look at the physical build of the A7C Mark II, it does really look exactly like the A6700, which was my previous camera before I had the A7C Mark II. Anyways, what am I trying to say? I believe in the past 5 years, camera upgrades have become kind of like iPhone upgrades. In my opinion, if you had anything up to like the iPhone 15 Pro, you don't need the iPhone 17 Pro that just got released. Everything that's been changing has been very little, incremental stuff. Just if you need a better camera, just a slightly better camera, it's nothing too crazy. Any camera that was released within the past 5 years is amazing. And in the case of the A7V, I have seen from watching Gerald and Don's review that most of the upgrades are geared more towards the photographers, people who are taking pictures. If you're doing sports photography, maybe event photography, and whatever it is that you're taking loads of pictures, you're a photography guy, the A7V kind of feels like a worthy upgrade. But if you're a video guy, I don't think it's really worth it. When you look at all the new changes, like the sensor readout speed being a little faster, so reducing the warping that you get from rolling shutter, that is something that we always hear people talk about, but never really see it affect us as video shooters. Except you're shooting sports, then we shouldn't be having this conversation anyways. But if you're making videos like what I'm doing right now on YouTube, I do commercial videos every week. I shoot client work every week, and I have never for once felt like I had the rolling shutter on my A7C to affect my work or just make the quality lower than it's supposed to be or whatever. I have never noticed that. Yes, we have better video cameras like the FX3, the A7S3. I'm talking Sony right now, the FX6, whatever. But then if you're looking to buy a new camera just for the sake of the A7V being brand new, faster readout speed for a video guy like myself, it's not enough for me to spend the extra money for it. You look at things like the fully articulating screen that the A7R5 had. It comes out, bends, rotates, goes every way. I mean, that's sweet, that's wonderful, but then again, that's more for photographers, not really videographers. The way the screen on the A7 IV, the A7C II, and every other, like the FX3 works, is good enough for most video shooters, if not all video shooters. Video shooters anyway will slap a monitor on the camera. They will have like an Atomos, Shinobi, or whatever 5.7-inch monitor they can lay their hands on. So the screens of video shooters is not something that we should be going crazy about. Yes, the A7 IV had dual card slots, just like every other Sony camera that's full frame and, you know, with the big body and the viewfinder. But the whole redundancy situation where people say you need dual cards so you can record in case one crashes, I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time a card failed on you or failed on someone that you knew? Or someone that you still know? In today's world, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're not taking your card out while it's reading or writing, if you're not taking your card out while the camera is not turned off, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, using the right card readers and not the cheap stuff, your cards will not fail. If you know that you shouldn't format your cards using your computer and only format them from your camera, and maybe not switch between Windows and Mac and Windows and Mac, like your cards won't fail. So If cards were supposed to be failing, Sony wouldn't be stupid enough to put one card slots in certain cameras. I have never had a card fail on me, so having dual card slots is nice, but it's not something that I should go buy the A7V because of that. The A7V also has up to 1 second of pre-capture. And you hear what I'm saying again? This is geared more towards photographers, like sports photography. And you see someone trying to strike a ball or whatever, and you think, oh, that might be a goal. But so before you fully press the shutter button, you already have a few pictures 1 second before you press that. So yes, taking pictures, good enough. Videos, pre-capture is not on video mode for your A7V. Gerald and Don said the sensor is cleaner on the A7V as well, which means that the way the Sony camera processes noise reduction in camera is different. So with the high ISO noise that you see on older cameras like the A7IV, the A7CII, it usually is heavy-handed, and when you try to do it more in post-production, it kind of mushes up the image. He said that the results he's getting from the A7V are more desirable, and with certain modes, the ISO second base is changed as well. Now, I get all that, but then the difference, I can't remember the last time I complained about my video or my client complained about a video because the noise was being reduced in camera, or the noise just, yo, if you know what you're doing, you're lighting your scenes anyway, you're not shooting in the dark. So the difference between the noise treatment in the A7V and the A7CII, it's not night and day. Now, if you're seeing me make this video and you're thinking, why is he even making the video in the first place? He's got no A7V, he hasn't used it, the real world test and results are not here, so what are you doing? Do you think I'm clickbaiting you or trying to jump on the trend and just make the video when everyone is making it? That's not the case. The reason I made this video, I jumped on here after watching Gerald and Don's video to make this video, is to attempt to help other people who, like me, suffer from gas and always want to buy the new stuff and the great stuff. And for the first time, I watched a review of a new camera from Sony, and I could feel within me like, yo, I really don't need this. And I believe there's someone else out there like myself who will be thinking, should I buy the A7V or should I just let this one slide? Now, who do I think this camera is for? If you're coming from like an A7 III, let's say you had an 8-bit camera and you're doing photography, the A7V is a wonderful upgrade for you. If you're making videos and you're coming from an 8-bit camera, it's a wonderful upgrade for you. Or if you're coming from an APS-C system that you've been shooting for years and you're looking to go full frame, yes, maybe get the A7V if money is not a problem. However, if you're a video shooter and you've been shooting the A7 IV, trust me, I don't think you should come to the A7V. If the AI autofocus is your problem and you're shooting video, maybe you should come to the A7C2. Yes, people talk about the grip, but that gets solved with a small rig cage or a small rig bottom plate. You know, we video shooters put cages on our cameras anyway, so the grip is not a problem. The viewfinder, as video shooters, we really don't use the viewfinder. The A7V is really geared towards photographers. For someone like myself who just takes pictures because I can, and I don't really make loads of money from photos, I make more money from videos, I think the A7C2 is going to be a great thing to buy right now because the prices are even going to come down more on the used market now that the A7V is out. So the pre-orders will start going in and the items will start shipping and getting delivered in a few months from now, and then the value of the older cameras will start dropping. Who knows, it might even start going up because then people realize, yo, I should spend less money and get more. For the price of £2,800, instead of getting the A7V, I'd better off just go get a used A7C2 and a Sigma 24-70 Mark II and start a career with that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I did hear Gerald and Don say that the new A7V can shoot 4K 60 without a crop with an option in camera. I have never felt the need to say, oh, I wish this wasn't crop, because we've got the lenses, the right lens for the right tool, right? So if I've got a 16 to 25mm lens and I'm shooting 4K 60 and it crops in, if I go to the 16mm side, I'm still getting something that's wider than 24 anyway. So the 4K 60 crop on full frame cameras, I wish it's different. I wish it just stops happening on full frame Sonys. But is it enough to justify the jump from your A7C2 to that, or from like your A7 IV to that? At 2,800 brand new, because this camera just dropped, so there's not going to be used ones in the market. It's going to be brand new. At 2,800, you can find a used FX3, or you can find a used A7S III. Yes, the A7S III has got older autofocus. It's an older camera generally, still performs amazingly, but I'd rather just go get an FX3 at that point if I'm making video and I care about the 4K 60 crop. Little cameras like my Fujifilm X-M5, which I'm recording with on the other side, has got open gate. Yes, I believe open gate is a very nuanced conversation. I think open gate is overhyped. I think most of the people who just scream about open gate just don't know what they're talking about, because when was the last time you shot a video at a gig, or you got hired by someone to shoot a video for them and you came home to crop a vertical video out of your horizontal video to send, to deliver to? It just doesn't work like that. If you're going to shoot for someone who is making social media content for their business, you already know that's a vertical video, so you just hold your camera vertically the whole time. If you're going to shoot an event, you know that's a landscape or horizontal video, not a vertical one, so you're going to shoot horizontal either ways. And right now it's kind of like a trend. It's coming back to social media. People are getting their senses back and posting horizontal videos, which is how I believe our eyes see the world. We see the world like I can see I don't think we see in vertical. I think we either see in like horizontal or what open gate would be. But then, yeah, the Sony A7V doesn't have open gate. I don't think that's a problem. I have never thought open gate should be a reason why I would buy a camera or not buy a camera. But if you're one of those people who's concerned about open gate, maybe just for the anamorphic aspect ratios, the D-squeeze option, the full look on anamorphic, you probably wouldn't be shooting Sony if you're really an anamorphic guy anyway. But if you're considering that and you're saying the price difference, yo, come on. Listen, this is my opinion. These are my opinions. You don't have to take what I said. If you've got the money and money's not a problem for you, just go ahead and buy the A7V. Do what you want. But then, if you're a new guy or you're trying to come up and you're seeing the A7V and you probably were saving money to buy a new camera in 2026 or at the end of 2025, and you're thinking, yo, the A7V just dropped. Should I buy it? Should I not buy it? Yes, maybe if it's your first camera and if you can afford it, maybe buy it and know that you're future-proof for the next 5 years. However, the smart choice if you're making video and you're looking for a new camera would be to go buy the A7CII, which has the same resolution as the A7V and still makes videos that are definitely going to look the same. You can still take pictures if you're in a pinch, and you can buy a lens. Because going out to buy the A7V right now for 2,800, you're still going to need to buy lenses for it, and full frame lenses cost a fortune. So that's what I'm here for, to try to get rid of my gas and your gas. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you going to buy the A7V? You think it's a worthy upgrade for video shooters? I'm not talking about photography here. I'm not talking about photo shooters. I'm talking about video shooters. Do you think it's a worthy upgrade? Are you going to buy it? Are you in the same boat as me? Do you feel like, yo, for the first time, we can now start to realize that we don't really need to upgrade every year? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the next one. Bye.
But he know I still got real cutters, yo. Yeah, I'm right back in that lost man.